That down, let's move on to this. Ryan Reynolds continues to really advocate for getting Wesley Snipes one more Blade movie. Now, of course, in Deadpool and Wolverine, which is now officially the highest grossing R-rated film of all time, crossing the $1.1 billion mark. I think it's closing in on 1.2. But hey, massive success. Good for them. Hugh Jackman returning. But in theaters across America, one of the biggest pops in the movie is when that slow rolling music starts to play and around the corner walks Wesley Snipes' Blade. And everybody got excited. And of course, one of the best jokes in the movie is there's only one Blade. There's only ever going to be one Blade. And then the smash cut to Deadpool just looking at the camera, kind of like knowingly, of course, there's another one coming. So they say. Well, Ryan has talked before about he would love to see him back, but Ryan just put up another post on his social media with a behind the scenes picture of him and Wesley together, in which he writes this. He said, the reaction when real Wesley Snipes enters the movie is the most intense thing I've heard in a theater. People screaming with uninhibited joy and love is also the sound of a legacy. More Blade, please. #Daywalker, a Logan-style send-off specifically.
Starring Deadpool.
Starring, of course, Deadpool. Right. All right. I'm going to say something really unpopular.
Uh-oh.
And you've heard me say it before, and it was unpopular when I said it before, and I'll say it again. Because sometimes the unpopular thing needs to be said, because it's often lonely being right. But when I saw Deadpool and Wolverine for the first time, number one, I loved Wesley Snipes' appearance. You can't even call it a cameo. It was a role in the film. It's much bigger than a cameo. But I really enjoyed Wesley Snipes being in there. But the second thing I walked out of that with, besides the first thing being that I really enjoyed that, was, oh yeah, it's very clear his time as Blade is done. Like, that's just the impression I had. It's like, it was one thing to see him do a couple of really cool scenes and say a couple of really cool lines. But honestly, I think if you did a Wesley Snipes Blade movie, a 64, because he's 62 now. So you'd probably, if you got one up and going, you'd probably have a 64, 65-year-old Blade.
Well, that's going to be Mahershala Ali by the time they...
Yeah, then he's getting into Mahershala Ali range. Yeah. I honestly don't think that is a movie that many people would actually go out to see. I think they do need to move on. It's time. If they ever do. I'm at the point that I don't believe this Mahershala Ali one is ever even going to happen. I mean, I wouldn't put money on it not happening, but if you ask me to be real honest, like a come to Jesus moment, I'd be like, yeah, I probably don't actually believe the Mahershala Ali one's going to happen. You got to stream
Chick-fil-A for that.
Now listen, the movie may happen. I just doubt that Mahershala Ali is going to be part of it at this point. But aside from that, if you are committed to moving forward with a new Blade in your universe, why on earth would you do a Wesley Snipes Blade? I mean, look, the fact of the matter is too, it's way past its time. If Wesley Snipes was like 54 years old right now, I might be a little bit more inclined to go maybe, but I just, again, loved him in Deadpool, but I also think it made the point that he should now be done. This was his goodbye, and this was his legacy. This was it, and I'm so glad he got it, but I honestly think that's the end of it. Jeff, there's a lot of people, you probably heard it too in your theaters, when Blade comes walking around that corner, people got hyped. Should Marvel be maybe looking at a Logan-style another standalone film for him?
No, I'm with you on this. That was the send-off. You know, and it's weird because I've seen the internet take what I said on my podcast last week and twist it, where I said, yeah, it does feel like there is more momentum behind a Wesley Snipes Blade movie than a Mahershala Ali movie at this point. It doesn't. I haven't heard anything about the Mahershala Ali project. And I think you're 100% right
when you say that.
Right, whereas Ryan Reynolds is out here beating the drum for we need more Blade. So yeah. I do think that there is more momentum behind a Wesley return, but at the same time, it was a bad idea. That is not how you take Blade into the MCU. Like, that was the Fox corner of it. I know Blade is a New Line movie, but like that was the goodbye. And I think we need a fresh start. You're right. It's time. Now, look, there's a couple things I want to point out from some people in the live chat. It's like Victor in the live chat saying, but John, Samuel Jackson did Nick Fury over 70. Nick Fury ain't Blade. And Samuel Jackson has always been the MCU's Nick Fury.
The other thing that somebody else brought up is something that I said before. Mark W. in the live chat. I've been saying this for a while. Even though he's not that much older than Mahershala Ali, I think he's 10 years older than Mahershala Ali? He's not that much older than Mahershala Ali. I think having Wesley Snipes as a whistler, like as Blade's whistler, I think that could be beautifully poetic.
Yes.
Again, maybe he's not old enough to be whistler for, I don't know, Jeff, what would you think about?
No, I think that's a great idea, right? I mean, it was going to be, Delroy Lindo, right, was cast in an earlier iteration of Blade. I don't know if he was necessarily playing Whistler or whatever, but I think that would be cool to have both of them in it and basically do like a torch passing movie almost in a way. And
then have Sticky Fingers in there as a Blade variant, and there you're off and running. Ray, I got to ask you, though.
No.
I got to ask you this. Okay. You've been, more than anybody else in this room, you've been more excited for Blade than anybody else here. If Kevin Feige were to call you and say, okay, here's the thing, Ray. I can either have you wait 4 more years for Mahershala Ali Blade, or I can crank out a Wesley Snipes Blade in less than 2 years. What would you ask him to do?
Well, to probably everyone's surprise, I actually would want to see a Wesley Snipes Blade.
There you
go. The first Blade is one of my favorite Marvel movies. It got me into it. But if I had to make a choice, I've been wanting to see Mahershala Ali play.
For 5 years, we've been waiting for it.
I take a third
option.
option.
But I do want to see a Wesley Snipes Blade. If there could be a universe where both of them and they don't affect each other, then yes.
Oh yeah, like a Elseworlds.
Yeah. If there was something like that, but I know they would affect each other, and that's why I'd rather have.
Look, Robert Pattinson's Batman is completely separate from the DCU. Ooh. What do you think that third option is? Jonathan, you said you had a third option.
Yeah, well, it was a joke, but now it's going to run flat. My third option was going to be a podcast of Kevin Feige and Ray just talking.
I'd be down for that. Yeah. I'd take that. All right. We want to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Hungryroot. Guys, you know me. I like things that make my life easier, especially things that make it easier for me to eat healthy and eat well, and certainly more effectively than trying to order from food delivery services. Hungryroot is the easiest way to eat healthy. They send you fresh, high-quality groceries, simple, delicious recipes, and essential supplements. It's like having someone else do all the planning and shopping so you don't even have to think about it. Hungryroot gets to know your personal health goals, dietary restrictions, favorite foods, how much time you want to spend cooking, and more. Then they build you a personalized cart with all your grocery needs for the week, including easy 4-ingredient recipes to put those groceries to use. Each order is fully customizable so you can take their suggestions or choose anything you want. They've got fresh produce, high quality meat and seafood, healthy snacks, smoothies, sweets, ready to eat meals, kids snacks and meals, vitamins and supplements, and much more. Everything from Hungryroot follows a simple standard. It's got to taste good, be quick to make, and contain whole, trusted ingredients. Right now, Hungryroot is offering the John Campea Show listeners 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/Campea to get 40% off your first delivery and get your free veggies. That's hungryroot.com/Campea. Don't forget to use our link so that they know we sent you. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Ryan Reynolds is still beating the drum, man. He still wants to get Wesley Snipes that Blade movie. I think it is a door that is long since shut. But I don't know. Maybe it could still be possible. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.